That's so nice. How good's that? Hey guys, welcome back to the Emlyn in the Mix show, season 4, episode 49, as we roll along to the end of the year. This is the second last show for the year. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey this year in the world of music technology, software and hardware. Yes, of course, that is what this podcast is about. If you've joined us here on Spotify today, welcome. And if you are watching us on YouTube, then welcome as well. You can also watch us on Spotify. But today we are going to be looking at the Korg Keystage and particularly using it in Ableton Live. And my thoughts and feedback on it, basically. That's all it really is. We do have the hardware here in the studio. You can see I've got the top-down screen here today, and I'll do my best to just sort of show you how it integrates really nicely with Ableton Live. You can see Ableton Live up in the top right corner there. But yeah, more or less, what is the Korg Keystage for those of you who don't know, or if you haven't heard of it just yet? More or less, it's a Poly aftertouch MIDI keyboard. Creative inspiration meets expressive innovation. Experience MIDI 2.0 unleashed, the ultimate Poly aftertouch controller. So the Keystage is the ultimate MIDI keyboard. This is what Korg are touting it as. Solution for producers and stage performers, and as the first keyboard to adopt the MIDI 2.0 property exchange. I think that's probably the most important part about this particular MIDI controller, is that it uses MIDI 2.0. Now, what is MIDI 2.0 exactly? Well, we'll get into that in a moment. I'll try my best to explain. But anyway, the Keystage puts unparalleled integration and control at your fingertips. That's pretty much what it does. Taking your music, making experience to a whole new level. Now, original MIDI, I believe I think it's 16, or no, it might be 8-bit. So now with MIDI 2.0, you can more or less have a larger exchange of input and output on your MIDI. So featuring a new keyboard design with outstanding touch response, polyphonic, channel aftertouch, and MPE. So it's got MIDI polyphonic expression on board, which is pretty good. Keystage offers hands-on control and instant visual feedback through its parameter dedicated OLED screen. So if we jump back across to the top down, you can see we've got the nice little OLEDs here, which, you know, albeit they are small, but they do show you what is happening. I've got a Korg Gadget here. Actually, if we go back to, I'll go to Ableton Live here. There you go. You can see the Korg Gadget and, you know, looking beautiful, and you can hear it. So this particular instrument doesn't have any aftertouch on it, but I will show you some instruments that do incorporate MIDI polyphonic expression and aftertouch on the show today. So jumping back over, so whether producing in the studio or performing live, Keystage offers an unparalleled, integrated and distraction-free experience to keep your musical creativity flowing uninterrupted. So there we go there. Comes in 49 keys, and I think we've got the 61 key here in front of us today. There's the 61 key there, and it's really nicely built. I have seen some other videos on YouTube where they said the keyboard's kind of loud. I don't think you're going to notice it. Yeah, I mean, if you hit the keys hard. But having said that, the keyboard actually feels really nice. So yeah, anyway, this is the Korg website here. We're just checking it out. Express your musical self. More or less, you can just, you know, use this to fully utilize MIDI 2.0. So here we go, MIDI 2.0. This is what MIDI 2.0 is. So it is one of the most exciting developments in electronic music productions in decades. So the MIDI Association explains on its official website, MIDI 2.0 means two-way MIDI conversation. So until now, okay, this is a better explanation of what it is. MIDI 1.0 messages went in one direction from transmitter to receiver, but with MIDI 2.0, it's bi-directional, which means it changes MIDI from a monologue to a dialogue. And thanks to new MIDI CI capability inquiry messages, MIDI 2.0 devices can talk to each other and auto-configure themselves to work together. It's basically the future of MIDI. Keystage utilizes MIDI CI property exchange messages to communicate with other devices. It retrieves information such as which control change CC parameters should be linked in and the appropriate names to display for each parameter. That's pretty cool, because as I load, not every plugin does it, but as I load most plugins, and I did choose Korg Gadget ones today, all the parameters do come up on the little OLED screens I can see and control the dedicated parameters. So since MIDI 2.0 Property Exchange is compatible with MIDI DIN cables, Keystage opens up opportunities for seamless integration with existing devices, paving the way for new and exciting possibilities in the horizon. So that's pretty cool. You can hook up with your traditional MIDI 5 DIN to this particular device. I'll put it back on the screen there, and essentially control your older synthesizers and hardware. So that's kind of exciting. So that hopefully that explains what MIDI 2.0 is. It's just more versatility, more control, more communication between the computer and the device. So for today's show, I know there's already a bunch of videos on this particular hardware on the internet already, but for today's show, what I thought I would show you is basically integrating it into Ableton Live. Now, before we do, big shout out to our sponsor. It is, of course, the Ridley Academy. Thank you so much for being a sponsor to the Emlyn in the Mix show. If you want to become a piano pro in just 21 days, click that link down below for the free masterclass. Just try it out. Try out the free masterclass and give it a shot. You know, I had someone in the comments last week saying, why would you promote such BS? 21 days, become a piano pro. Well, have you tried it? You need to try the 21-day piano pro, become a piano pro in just 21 days. Let's see if it actually works. And if it doesn't, you will still be happy, because Mr. Ridley himself, such a great personality to have as an instructor. And why not learn the piano? I mean, I've started and it's really good. It's really good. All right, good. So let's get back on with the show. All right, so let's jump over. Here we are to Ableton Live, and we have the Korg Gadget. I've got the Darwin up, which is the Korg M1 emulation, and it's this nice house organ sound. So let's jump over to the actual over the top view here, sorry. And now some of the cool things is that it can be controlled straight away into Ableton Live. So we've got the transport control. I've made a little track. I think we just got this little loop I made with the Darwin M1. So that's pretty nice. And I do have a beat. Let me just get my beat on. How nice is that? So it works really nicely and seamlessly within Ableton Live. And the cool thing is it has the chord functionality and the arpeggiator functionality, which are really funky. And I call them Korg chords. They just sound so good. This is just the default, and it's the one I used for this particular track. But how good does that sound? If you guys have ever played the Korg Gadget and put it on chord mode, this is basically how it sounds. Sounds fantastic. Now I do want to show you, take that off there. So you can see already just pulling up the Korg Darwin inside Ableton Live, the parameters have already come up here. So we've got our oscillator balance, cutoff, resonance, EQ intensity, attack, decay, hopefully you can see that on the screen, release time, and then off the screen here is your effects dry wet. I'll just show you just now, just having a little tweak with that little beat again, and just have a listen to how I can control the sound. So it gives you absolutely nice control, beautiful, easy control over the parameters when you pull up your instruments, whether they be AU instruments, VST instruments. It all works really seamlessly and really nice inside Ableton Live. And of course you can, well, I just cracked my knuckles there on the show. That was pretty cool. Of course you can just hit record here. And let's say we wanted to put in a new line on our Darwin M1. We'll just select the new track there in Ableton. I hit record. Actually, I'll put my metronome back on. Here we go. And I'll just play something different in. So something simple like that. So I've just recorded that in. Pop us back onto our screen just so it's a bit bigger. You can see my MIDI is recorded in there. And yeah, I mean, it's just a nice, easy workflow. I did see a video they posted on Korg where someone was actually playing the Korg Keystage with the new Push 3, which would be freaking exciting, like, to try. I mean, that would be absolutely fun. All right, let's just see. So I've just made this little ditty here. I mean, it's not exciting, but you know, you could, if you already know the workflow of Ableton Live, like just how easy it is to put a track together. So let's go back. Now we've got our new little ditty here. Just put a bit of effects on it. Turn my metronome back off. The filter on this is a bit weird, actually. Anyway, you get the idea. Pretty simple, pretty easy indeed. Now, I do have a different instrument. Let's jump back over to my screen here. And I've pulled up, what's this other instrument? Actually, I'm just gonna get that one going again. All right, so my other instrument I had was the organ Alexandria. And that one I've got muted. Let's just unmute it. Oh yeah, I've got some rotation going. I don't know if you can see. Oh, it's off the screen, but it is basically, it's the last parameter here. So we can play with the modulation effects, the dampener, pitch bend it, like a traditional organ. All right, there should be a little ditty going there. Oh, we got too much, our decay's gone, our damper's on, that's why. All right, cool. Let's have a playback of this little ditty I got here. And the pitch is off. That's nice. Tweak that rotation out. Make it slow. How good is that? Super, super nice indeed. All works absolutely seamlessly with Ableton Live, and of course using the Korg Gadget plugins here. But what about like a different plugin? Does it show all the parameters? Now, not every plugin shows the parameters on board. So this next one, but I did want to show this particular plugin. It is Equator 2 by Ridley, which has, of course, MIDI polyphonic expression presets on board. But also the cool thing about the Equator 2, which is here, it looks super overwhelming. Actually, you can see in real time the aftertouch being initiated. So that's why I wanted to show this particular instrument off. But for some reason, when we jump over to the hardware, there's only one parameter that's come up here. So I don't know whether that means Equator 2 needs an update or there's an update on Korg's end. Nonetheless, not every value or parameter will show in every instrument straight away. We'll try some more on the show here today that I haven't tried before we did this show. We'll see if we can get any other instruments showing. But for the sake of this video, let me just show you quickly. We'll jump back over to the software so you can see Equator 2 and just how amazing actually this, well, you can't really see it, but I can tell you how good this keybed actually is. So let me just play some back. So it's definitely got aftertouch, and you can see when I push it, I don't know if you can see that one. I'm gonna try and point. Which way do I point? Nah, this is too much. That blue one there, as I put more pressure on the key bed, it goes up and down, and you can hear it as well. So it does have, of course, polyphonic aftertouch. Let's not go off the camera there. Here we go. All right, let's see if we can get another preset to really show off that MIDI polyphonic expression. So if we go through equator 2 here, let's try this one. Oh, this one doesn't have a sound, my bad. Let's try just one at random. Here we go. Yeah, so you can hear the aftertouch there, it's like a bell. That's easily coming through. Now I do have to say, like, I've played with MIDI polyphonic expression controllers or MPE controllers before, and I gotta say the MPE on this is good, although I must say the aftertouch is quite hard. You may be able to change that in the settings, I'd imagine. Let's have a look. Like if we go to settings, I'll show you the hardware here. So we go into settings, we've got our controller mode, which is on live, contrast, auto power off, and let's see, there's another page here. Aftertouch mode is polyphonic, velocity curve is at 0, aftertouch. Oh, maybe we increase that. Does that make it easier? Oh yeah, that might be a bit easier. Okay. That's pretty cool. What happened to the... So it does have a onboard arpeggiator. And the chord mode. Very nice indeed. We'll get out of settings there. Let's try different plugins. So you get the idea. MPE functionality, polyphonic aftertouch is completely available, and you can see it inside an instrument such as Equator 2 there by Ridley. Now I'm just going to pick one at random here. Let's see. We did look at this recently. We could look at the OBX by GeForce. Let's suss this out and see. Do we get parameter control? Ooh. God, it's a lush sounding synth. Yeah, we get a little bit. It's cool. It sort of loads automatically, but there's only one here. So I've got a macro. Don't know what that controls. Oh, yeah. Nice. And this particular instrument does have... Yeah, we're getting like a... When I dial in that macro, I guess it supposes what macros you got controlled, but I like it does it automatically. It's giving us that vibrato, I guess it is. Very nice. How would that sound in my track? Oh God, that's got a lot of decay. Might just turn that little organ down. See what I can do. 3, 2, 1, let's go. That's so nice. How good's that? Sounds wicked. Alright, I'm getting carried away here. Let's try a different one other instrument here. Let's give, wow, that decay. Might just mute that off. Alright, let's get a different instrument. That was pretty sick though. I do like that instrument. And I'll note that is noted to put into that track, I think. Okay, let's just go by random here. Let's go one of native instruments. Let's go a classic. Let's go to FM8. Here we go. Do we get parameter control? Now I want to see if you guys can see this happening live. So I've opened up the FM8. I've still got the chord on. Actually, this would sound good with an ARP. No polyphonic aftertouch on the FM8, unfortunately. It's a little bit old school. Turn that off. Here we go. But the FM8 is still an amazing sounding synth. Yeah, it looks like we don't have any parameters that have come up here just yet. Or if they're going to come up at all. So just keep in mind, not every instrument is going to work. But the ones we do know that really do work is, of course, Korgs. And they just work every time. Like we just open up, put a clav here. And is that the right one? Jump over to, yeah, the Prefrences or however you say this. Here we go. And if we jump over, yeah, you can see all my parameters are here. Pitch bend. Mutation wheel or modulation wheel, sorry, not mutation wheel. We'll put the damper on. A bit of effects action. Alright guys, I think you get the idea. The control inside Ableton Live, to me anyway, seems seamless. You know, you can hit play down here in the transport and then you can just start wigging out on your track, going through your different tracks and playing with your various parameters, you know? Like if we want to get back to our original here, we can really just tweak with it, you know? I'm playing with the Darwin at the moment. I'll pull that up. I love this Darwin. How good is it? I don't know, the filter's weird on this thing though. How good's that? Alright, I think you've had enough of me tweaking my little ditty I'm working on there. But guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed me showing you or giving you an overview of the Korg Keystage Poly AT MIDI keyboard, Polyphonic Aftertouch MIDI keyboard working inside Ableton Live. And yeah, I guess my thoughts and feedback on it are that it does integrate really seamlessly. You do need to make sure, of course, you've got it selected in your preferences, you know, your input and your output. Like if we go over to Midi Control here, hopefully you can see that. Gosh, it's probably pretty small, but you have your Keystage and make sure your input and output are on. And then when you scroll down here, you just want to click track on the Keystage, wherever it is. I've got a bunch of here. There's Keystage in on the track and out on the track. And then it just works. Like this is the thing about MIDI 2.0 is you don't have to configure, it just works. Some of those, again, I'm sure there's going to be updates with other instruments and, you know, plugins and so forth that we'll be able to integrate with MIDI 2.0 as we move forward. Something like the FM8 from Native Instruments, probably not the best example, being that it is quite an older instrument. It's not going to work straight away, but you know, at least you know all the Korg stuff is going to work and a bunch of others did work, and even like that GeForce one that we opened, and it gave us one macro control, but it was still kind of cool, you know, playing with the vibrato there. Anyway, guys, what do you think of the Korg Keystage? Leave a comment down below. Big thank you and shout out to Korg for letting us check out the Korg Keystage, and you know, the integration with Ableton Live. Absolutely fantastic. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me. We've only got one more show left for the year of this particular show, the Emlyn in the Mix show format. But of course, I will be here doing videos on the YouTube throughout the holiday season before we get to season 5 of the Emlyn in the Mix podcast. Cannot believe I'm saying that we're going to get to season 5. But yeah, anyway. Nonetheless, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you liked it today. And thank you so much for joining me. Back next week. Peace out. Boom. Hey, thanks for listening to the Emlyn in the Mix podcast. Here you will find all the latest in music technology, software and hardware, interviews, and more. Also, don't forget to check out the Emlyn in the Mix YouTube channel today. Till next time, keep it real.